Hey guys, there is absolutely no way for me to adequately convey just how important the content of this video is. Our wise overlords have decided that it would be a good idea to engage in a cyber war with Russia, simply because they believe, and without evidence, that the leaders of Russia are the ones that released the emails that showed just how corrupt, deceitful, and dishonest Hillary Clinton actually is. The emails have exposed Clinton's corruption and the fact that her campaign staff is acting deceitfully during the election process. And in the hysteria, instead of dealing with the truth of the email's contents, the knee-jerk reaction of the present administration is to start a cyber war with Russia. The reason for the hysteria is to draw the attention of the American people away from the content of what the hackers have actually revealed. And that content has everything to do with manipulating the public opinion of the American people. So because Clinton is trying so desperately not to get caught, she and her Obama administration pals are willing to start a cyber war with a powerful nation which could spark a full-fledged war. And make no mistake, what these madmen at the helm of Washington's District of Criminals are doing is provoking a war, which could quickly escalate into a world war. And all to protect the criminals who don't want to face the truth.
Good evening. There will be no troop movements or a single shot fired, but NBC News has learned exclusively that the United States is poised for an unprecedented retaliatory assault against Russia in response to its interference in the U.S. election.
Unprecedented retaliatory assault? Let me break down what this talking head just said. Without any evidence of wrongdoing on the part of the parasites of the Kremlin, our parasites here at home, who man the ship of American foreign policy, are launching a cyber attack on Russia simply because hackers revealed the truth about what's really going on in regard to the American election. It's like, oh no, they told the truth about us and now Americans know. So we need to provoke a war to get the spotlight off of us and off our puppet masters. Because here's the way I see it, guys. They may use this whole cyber attack thing to shut down the entire internet. I don't know. It is by the way of the internet that all these WikiLeaks are wreaking havoc on the establishment. And they just can't have that. So I'm thinking the internet is this technology that's gotten so big and has so many facets that they're not able to control it. It's only a matter of time before the people start getting the drift that there are unseen hands behind the facade who are calling the shots and using political puppets to implement their nefarious policies.
Tonight, high-level U.S. intelligence sources are describing to us the tales of a CIA-led cyber retaliation against Russian computer systems. And it could get personal, targeting the Russian leadership from Vladimir Putin on down.
Translation? Let's see how many eyes we can poke in our attempt to shift the blame away from our own corrupt deeds. Remember guys, they have zero evidence that Russia is involved in any of the WikiLeaks emails. Zero. And even if Russia did have something to do with it, since when has truth become our enemy? Retaliation of truth can only come from the enemies of truth. And the enemies of truth are no friends of ours. And that is how Americans should be looking at this whole thing.
Who the U.S. accuses of sponsoring a series of hacks meant to undermine confidence in the American election.
Confidence in the American election should not only be on shaky ground, it shouldn't even exist. And again, if it is truth that is undermining that confidence, then we should all say with individual and collective voices, so be it. Give us the truth no matter the source, and let the chips fall where they may. Let's put it this way. If Russia did sponsor these hackers, and if their motive was to undermine the American election, we should all be very grateful.
NBC News has learned the CIA is in the initial phase of a wide-ranging cyber retaliation designed to be both clandestine and embarrassing. Sources with direct knowledge of the operation tell us the target, the Kremlin leadership, particularly Vladimir Putin.
Now at this point, any thinking person would stop and ask for proof that it was the Russians who were the sponsors of such enlightening email revelations. Next, the intelligent response would be, why is the US so opposed to forced transparency? And why does this transparency even have to be forced? Shouldn't we be thanking whoever exposed this whole mess? Wasn't it Obama himself who promised a government that is open and transparent?
I'll make our government open and transparent. so that anyone can ensure that our business is the people's business. No more secrecy. That's a commitment I make to you as president. No more secrecy.
So then why is there a problem that people, whoever they may be, have come forward to ensure openness and transparency within the halls of American government? Why would the Obama administration want to stifle what Obama himself promised to deliver to the people?
The way to make government responsible is to hold it accountable. And the way to make government accountable is make it transparent so that the American people can know exactly what decisions are being made, how they're being made, and whether their interests are being well served.
But now when something presents itself that makes the American government accountable and transparent, the first reaction of the very man who promised transparency is retaliation? Remember when Bradley Manning came forward about the corruption he tried to expose in the military? He was thrown in the brig. When Edward Snowden came forward, giving the people a glimpse into the corruption of politicians and their unwarranted surveillance on Americans, he became a marked man who had to run for his life. When Assange promised to upset the apple cart of the inhabitants of the District of Criminals, they wanted to get him. They wanted to bring him in. Seems to me that politicians like Obama and Clinton can talk a good talk about transparency, but when it comes to actually shining a light on the dark deeds of American politics, they scramble to not only extinguish the light, but they seek to harm the one who happens to be shining that light.
For a long time now, there's been too much secrecy in this city. The old rules said that if there was a defensible argument for not disclosing something to the American people, then it should not be disclosed. That era is now over. Starting today, every agency and department should know that this administration stands on the side not of those who seek to withhold information, but those who seek to make it known.
Those who seek to make known uncomfortable and damning information are pursued and threatened. This joker right here is a liar. But not just this joker. We shouldn't trust any of these criminals.
If ordered by the White House, the CIA could manipulate things as specific as the banking accounts and personal phones of the Kremlin leadership.
There's a great deal of offshore money that has moved out of Russia through the hands of oligarchs. It would be extremely embarrassing if that were revealed, and doing so would be a way to have a proportional response to what we have seen.
Proportional response to what? To emails that tell the truth and provide evidence of corruption in high places? And the reaction, instead of prosecuting the real transgressors, is to stamp out the truth and provoke a war.
The covert operation, the sources tell NBC News, is being run by a super-secret group inside the CIA. Top-secret documents indicate they have a staff of hundreds and a budget in the hundreds of millions. The covert operation is designed to send Russia a signal to back off.
A signal to back off? Again, there's no proof it's Russia providing the leaks. But if it was, what is it the CIA wants them to back off of? Telling the truth about American politics and their corrupt politicians? Wake up, people! Stifling truth is the hallmark of criminal elements who don't want their corruption exposed.
How does it work? U.S. cyber operatives have long been active inside Russia itself, trying to unlock the cyber doors the Russians work hard to secure, feeding information back to CIA headquarters at Langley. Inside Langley, CIA super hackers use that information to direct drones and specialized low-flying satellites over Russia, and even submarines positioned off the Russian coasts.
Oh yeah, that won't provoke a war.
A former senior intelligence official tells NBC News he believes the U.S. response to the Russian hack should be overt for everybody to see, and that it should include a persuasion campaign designed to inform the Russian people about Putin.
If you publicly accuse someone and don't follow it up with a response action, that may weaken the credible threat of your response capability.
Sean Canuck was until this spring the senior U.S. intelligence official responsible for analyzing Russian cyber capabilities.
You're seeing it play out between two longtime chess players in this field. We've seen it in past decades in the nuclear era, and now we're seeing it in the cyber era.
Unless we stand up to this kind of cyber attack from Russia, we'll only see more and more of it in the future.
Cyber attack? Telling the truth about someone especially telling the people that someone is trying hard to manipulate the American election for their own benefit and letting the world see it so they can make an informed decision is not an attack. Well, actually it is. It's an attack on corruption. And that kind of attack is exactly what we need to unseat the powers that be. Guys, these are very serious times and an incredibly serious situation. Please share this video with everyone you know so they can get informed and keep their eyes and ears open. If enough people awaken to what's really going on in our government, maybe we can band together and make some positive changes. Guys, thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and share it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to see more videos like this, click that big red subscribe button down there, and as soon as I upload a video, you'll be one of the first to see it. If you want to support this channel, pick up one of these hard-hitting, conversation-starting shirts. You'll find the link in the description below, along with a plethora of other hard-hitting, high-impact designs. Remember, guys, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. And indifference to this notion is the means by which the people will secure their own oppression. Let's stop securing our own oppression and let's start today. I'll see you guys in the next video.